At this time, I want to say a special thanks to the Wellesley Church community for all of their help and all of their assistance, and for their awareness to give us the opportunity to conduct a thorough investigation. It's their level of cooperation and information sharing that has allowed us to reach this conclusion. Important note that this is very early in this investigation at this point in time, and so not all questions are going to be answered, and I just want to frame that now. This is very early, and so please do appreciate that. And without any further ado, I'd welcome Detective Sergeant Hank Gadzinga from the Homicide Squad.
And good afternoon. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Chief Saunders. By way of a quick overview, on April 14th, 2017, 44-year-old Salim Essen went missing from the area of Yonge Street and Bloor Street. On June 26, 2017, 49-year-old Andrew Kinsman went missing from the area of Parliament Street and Winchester Street. At the time, 51 Division was responsible for investigating these cases separately. In August of 2017, in an effort to further the investigation and share resources, Project PRISM was formed. This allowed more officers to be dedicated to these cases, to share information with a similar yet separate investigation known as Project Houston from 2013, and to seek advice and support from specialized areas of the service, including the Homicide Squad. On December the 8th, members of the service briefed the media and the community on this case and other cases. Yesterday, significant progress was made in the investigation, and we have moved very quickly. This morning at approximately 10:25 a.m., police arrested 66-year-old Bruce MacArthur of the City of Toronto. He is self-employed as a landscaper using the company name Artistic Design, and he lives in the Thorncliffe Park area. He has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in relation to Mr. Kinsman and Mr. Essen. We believe he is responsible for the deaths of Mr. Essen and Mr. Kinsman, and we believe he is responsible for the deaths of other men who have yet to be identified. In other words, we believe there are other victims. As of right now, interviews are taking place, and police have secured 5 properties, 4 in Toronto and 1 in Madoc, connected to Bruce MacArthur in an effort to further investigate these occurrences. Investigators are asking for the continued assistance of the public in this investigation. Anyone with any information, no matter how small, is asked to contact the project team at a dedicated line, 416-808-2021, or anonymously through Crime Stoppers. In order to protect the integrity of any witness statements or other information that may come forward, we are not prepared to release Mr. MacArthur's photograph today. Any further information will be brought forward as soon as we are able to. At this stage, we are most concerned with identifying other victims of Mr. MacArthur.
Detective, have you found the bodies?
We have not yet found the bodies. We're actively looking for them. We're conducting these search warrants in efforts to locate the bodies, but at this point in time, no, we have not located them.
We don't know the cause of death.
Sorry?
We don't know the cause of death.
We have a pretty good idea of what the cause of death is, but I'm not ready to discuss that yet.
What led you to the man arrested?
I'm sorry?
What led you to the man arrested?
Specifically, some evidence was found yesterday that the investigation is going on for many months leading up to this, and some evidence was uncovered yesterday which pushed us over the edge and enabled us to develop our reasonable probable grounds to arrest Mr. MacArthur.
Can you say what that evidence is or where it was found?
No, I can't.
Without finding the bodies, how are you confident this is a homicide investigation? It was a missing person's case. Now it's a homicide.
Correct. And again, I can't speak directly as to what the evidence is, and I'm well aware of the difficulty of prosecuting people without recovering the bodies, but in this case, we believe we have strong enough evidence where we can do exactly that.
Have you drawn any connection with the dating app and how this man interacted with these men?
Well, in December, when we had a previous conference, we gave out some advice because of the use of dating apps in this community, and we are looking at some dating apps in regards to this. Mr. MacArthur was on some dating app websites, and the victims were as well. So I'm not going to divulge exactly what those websites are. We're still digging into that as well.
Did he have relationships with these men? What was the relationship like between Bruce MacArthur and the victims?
I can tell you that he did have a relationship with Mr. Kinsman for some time. We don't know what his exact relationship with Mr. Essen was leading up to the murder. Whether he had just met him that day or whether he had known him for some time, we just don't know that yet.
Would you qualify that as a romantic relationship?
I'd qualify it as a sexual relationship.
Can you talk more about, you mentioned you believe there may be other victims. What leads you to believe that, and what are you looking for from the public? There are other missing people from the village area.
We do have some evidence which leads us to believe there are further victims. We aren't able at this time to identify those victims based on the evidence that we have. It's a work in progress. We hope to get there. We are aware of the other missing men from the village, and we're trying to identify whether they may become victim to Mr. MacArthur as well.
Do you know how he was meeting these victims, his modus operandi?
We do, but I'm not ready to get into that right now.
Do you think he's a serial killer?
Well, it's a media definition for serial killer. I'm telling you he's killed at least 2 people that we know of, and we believe there are more victims. So whether you want to attach that label or not is up to you.
You mentioned that something happened yesterday that led you to make the arrest. Can you talk about when this person got on your radar?
We've known about Mr. MacArthur and have been investigating him for several months now. So, but we weren't able to make that definitive link until yesterday.
Does he have a criminal record? Is he known to police?
I can't comment on his past with the police. MacArthur.
We'll take one more question.
The properties that he owns, these are other houses, farms, or what are these farms?
These are properties that he's associated to. He resides in the Thorncliffe Park area. These other properties are properties that he is associated to. He doesn't own them.
Did he frequent the village?
Yes, he did.
All right. About the Tess Ritchie case, it's been mentioned in the context of the Church-Wellesley area, but can you say whether there was any connection or was that totally separate at this point?
I believe that.
Updates to that?
That's totally separate. I'm not the investigator in relation to that case, but I have no connection with that.
I haven't been informed if there is any connection.
Can we hear from Chief Saunders? Chief, we'd asked you whether this was a serial killer. Now the detective sergeant says it appears that it is. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, you know, in policing, what we do is we follow the evidence, and what I said at the time that I said was accurate at that time. I'll take one more question.
Chief, you know, you mentioned it before, the help from the community.
Yes.
And also the fact that this started off the divisional case and then went to homicide. And once that happened, the Project Prison was established. It seemed to really click in. Maybe comment a little bit on that process, and also what maybe you learned from that.
Well, I think, Joe, in all fairness, one of our roles is to listen to the community, and this is a classic example of that. It was through the community continuously talking to us and making us aware. It gave us a greater focus, and as a result of that, and listen, I don't like this outcome by any stretch of imagination. The loss of life is something that it saddens me, but I will say I do believe the community is directly responsible for enhancing community safety as a result of how this investigation has concluded. And when I say concluded, it is ongoing, but it is concluded in the sense that the allegations are we've apprehended someone that has done tremendous harm to the city.
Best you can, because it's kind of loose the way it is that there's other victims. We know of a couple of victims that we've talked about potential, but can you clarify when you say there could be more victims? Is it a few or many?
Well, you know, can't give any numbers, but really this meeting is to provide an opportunity for the public to have an understanding that we are still looking for evidence, that the investigation has not stopped. In fact, it has just begun. It's very new, and there may be people out there that have some information or some evidence that they may feel is not relevant, when in fact it could be. So hopefully with this awareness piece, it's an opportunity for us to put the pieces together that are missing and give us an opportunity to have more clarity. So this is 2 questions more than my last question, but go ahead. This is the last one.
It's pretty important. We've talked about 4 men in the past. Is that accurate to say that these 2 and the other 2 that I don't know the names in top of my head, but we know of 4. Is that fair to go with that?
That's too deep for me, Joe. Thank you. I don't dig into the weeds with the investigations, but thank you very much, everyone.